Once you've got all of your layers brought in and merged, you can start to adjust different colors on different objects using your masks. Typically, the sequence I'll use in my compositing is to read and merge, getting everything stacked, then do color correction and adjustment on different elements. And this way, anything that is Luma-based afterwards, such as glow, or maybe a bokeh node in a depth of field, is basing on the correct luminance or brightness in that image. So I'm going to push around the color just a little bit, first using a grade node and then a color correct. I'll select the Merge to, my screening merge of the specular highlight, and press G for grade. Grade is what we use to, as the name suggests, grade footage, pushing around where the white point is, gamma, and so on, to alter that footage to a certain look or to calibrate it on ingest. Let's say it's coming from a camera and we need to push where white is so our fluorescent lights don't look yellow or green. We can do it here in grade easily. And what I'll do is use grade as kind of an overall adjustment. Then I'll get into the specifics of my color correction. I'll start out by taking the overall gamma down, just deepening the image a little bit. And then I'm going to color correct by pressing C. In the color correct node on the bottom, I'll zoom in so we can see it. And on the right side, I've got a mask node, and this is common to most of the nodes here in Nuke. I'll take that mask and drag it right onto Read 5, making sure that I double-click on color correct and press 1 to show it in the view. Here's where this gets neat. I'm going to push up gamma a lot so we can really see its effect. My image blows out. However, I'll go into the Ranges tab in the color correct, and where it says Mask, RGBA Alpha, I'll drop this down and mask by RGBA Green, that screaming green I put on the floor. And now that color correction is applied only to that floor. And if this is a sequence or animation, that mask will travel, that shape showing correctly in each frame per the camera motion. So we have a traveling mask set out by color easily. Now I'll go and color correct and pull that gamma back down. What I'm going to do in the floor is actually take the master gamma down just under 1, and this way I'm deepening the floor tone. I'll also take the shadows on the floor and deepen them a little bit further so I get some better range. We can do things in here like altering values if we need and also pushing around color. I'm going to take the master saturation on the floor and click on the wheel to open it up and start to adjust the colors a little bit. I've got my red, green, and blue sliders, or a wheel, or sliders on the side in the color panel. For example, pushing up the blue on the floor really pushes that blue in. I'm going to back off the blue just a little bit so the floor is a little greener, and back off the green as well to warm it. Now I'll push up the overall saturation so I get the right tone in the floor. Alternately, we can start to move these around by dragging this node in the middle of the wheel, the saturation, and pulling out to increase the saturation on the floor. We can revert knobs or reset by right-clicking on any of the name and setting them to default. Now I'm back to my original, and I can try that color correction again. I was going to push down the gamma, making sure that I'm masking correctly by RGBA green, and now I've got a deeper floor. And I'm actually going to pull out that saturation, so the floor reads as more of a gray. I'll pull down that gamma, and now there's the depth in the floor I want. I can do another mask in here, again, pressing C for color correct and dragging that mask node right onto the rendered mask. In this case, I'll go into Ranges and mask here by RGBA red, my left side wall I can see in the mask. In the color correct, I'm going to saturate that wall, pulling this up to really bring out the green. Then I'll open up the wheel for saturation and back off the blue just a touch so the green in the wall really shows. This gives us the ability to really push around color in a very customized way, and masking very, very specifically allows us to say this particular object needs to have a slightly different value. You can render out as many masks as you need because they're cheap renders, and simply bring them in and use them, allowing different color correction nodes to stack up and use different parts of a mask to push around very specific things.